All right, is that possible for us to do that first? Can Ms. Gant go into a breakout? Is that position somewhere where Ms. Gant can do the breakout with interpretation at this time?
Where's the inmate at? Is he in courtroom 2 or in a special courtroom?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Oh, okay. I thought y'all probably knew. I'm sorry, Judge. It's Katrina.
Hi, Katrina. Yes, at the jail, is that position in a separate place so Ms. Gant can go ahead and do that interview?
Hi, good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
What was your question, ma'am?
Is it position 9, Ms. Gant? Whatever position needs the interpreter, is that person somewhere separate, or we could do the breakout now so she can start?
Be able to send the Spanish interpreter to the courtroom 3? Okay, yeah, but if you can give us a minute,
All right,
we'll send them.
that's fine.
And we
Thank
do have a
you.
private attorney case for position 6, Mr. Curtis. Whenever you guys are ready to start, come on, Mr. Curtis.
All right, let me actually do the beginning of the calendar. I was just trying to clear up that particular issue. So if we could stay away from Ms. Gant's case. Oh, and I'm seeing now that there was an add-on calendar. I didn't get the add-on calendar. When was the add-on calendar sent?
It was just sent recently. It was just sent, Judge.
Okay, give me a moment.
6 additional charges.
Six additional inmates?
Yes. It was a big counter.
It's the same number of people that's on the pool sheet, but somehow they wasn't on the original calendar that was sent.
All right.
Don't sound too happy, Judge.
This, as some, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And some may be aware this was not my scheduled day. All right, Miss Lewis, do you mind sending it to me to my personal email? I am unable to pull up. Thank you. All right. Let's begin. This is the State Expedited Accusations calendar. I am Judge Melanie Williams. Today is October the 17th of 2022. This calendar is for those individuals who have been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have a right to an attorney at this proceeding here today. All participants, this particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It is also being recorded. That means that any member of the public can log on and watch this particular proceeding. First, we have position 6. Who represents this defendant? This is a private attorney case. Yes, who represents Sammy Curtis?
I don't see one here.
Okay.
I don't believe his attorney is here.
Also, Your Honor, before we get started, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be November the 1st.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Bridgewater. Those who receive a surety or cash bond will be reset as Ms. Bridgewater just indicated. Those who receive a signature bond will be reset further notice.
Okay, come on, Ms. Davis. Position 7, Ms. Davis.
All right, good afternoon, Ms. Davis. Your case is 22 CR 0069578. In this case, you're charged with simple battery, family violence, willful obstruction, and reckless conduct, each with the offense date of October the 15th. Do you understand your rights today? I need you to say yes.
You gotta hear me.
Yes, thank you. Please speak as loudly as you can. Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, last was 2021, disorderly conduct. It was NOD.
All right, thank you. Whose case this is for the state?
It's my case, Your Honor. ASG Salary.
Good afternoon, Ms. Sowry. Please give me the state's recommendation.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is a $3,000, a $2,000 surety bond on the simple battery and $1,000 for the obstruction, which would make a total of $3,000. stay away from the incident location, which is 1093 Windsor Street in Atlanta, and to comply with any defects orders. Your Honor, briefly, the fact.
Before you begin, Ms. Sauer, what about the reckless conduct? Has that charge been dismissed?
No, Your Honor, I'm sorry, 1,000 on the reckless conduct. So that would be a total of 4,000. My apologies.
Okay. All right, please proceed. Thank you.
Yes, the facts of this case, Your Honor, is that officers were dispatched to the incident location regarding a dispute. The defendant in this case, she was heard hitting her son, who is 1 year old, and his initials are KD. She was heard hitting him by her mother and her sister. Her sister did inform officers that she was able to hear the victim being hit from downstairs. And when she went upstairs to the defendant's room, she saw that the defendant had the victim in a corner. When officers arrived to look at the victim's injuries, she prevented him from doing so. And she did also attempt to jump out of the window in an attempt to leave the scene. So the state's recommendation is that $4,000 surety bond. Stay away and to comply with defects orders. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. Sauer. And who represents this defendant?
Wanda Gant, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, thank you, Ms. Gant. I was hoping Ms. Gant's positions could go after she had a chance to do that, but please proceed, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Michaela Davis is 18 years old. She has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area her entire life. She has family here. However, I was unable to get in contact with any of her family members to see if they could assist her with bond, Your Honor. Ms. Davis completed high school. She is not currently employed. She has been out of work for the past 4 months. Prior to becoming unemployed, she worked at a local pawn shop center. Your Honor, we strongly deny the allegations. My client does not have any convictions for violence. And as we heard from pretrial, the other matter back in October 2021 was dismissed. I am requesting a signature bond on Ms. Davis's behalf. She is certainly presumed innocent. Again, she strongly denies the allegations. I'm requesting this signature bond, preferably through the jail, Your Honor, as she does not have a co-signer if Your Honor requires. Again, I was unable to reach her mother or any adult who's willing to co-sign for her. We are opposed to the stay away, as this is my client's only place to live. However, we have not been able to contact any of the residents at that location. So we will defer to the court's ruling, and we certainly are unopposed to complying with any defects orders, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hold on one second. All right. At this time, the defendant is going to receive a $4,000 signature bond through, I am going to send it through pretrial, Ms. Gant, so she will need a co-signer. I'm sorry, how old is Ms. Davis?
18, Your Honor.
Mr. Howard, she still needs a co-signer despite being 18?
I mean, if she 18 with the child, she don't need one. We can let her slide.
All right.
Normally, if they're 18 and still in high school, I would say yeah. But
okay.
Is she still in high school?
She graduated from high school.
Nah.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna send that signature bond through pretrial services, and the breakdown will be 2,000 count one, and 1,000 for each of the remaining charges. I am gonna order the stay away at this time. She must comply with all defects orders, and she is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and no contact with the alleged victims at this time. Is there anything further from either party?
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything further from the state?
Your Honor, nothing further from the state.
All right, thank you both. Best of luck to you, Ms. Davis. What do we have next?
Can I say something?
I advise you to take advantage of your right to remain silent.
No,
Anything you
Ms.
say.
Davis,
I was saying that I have another.
Ms. Davis, please don't make any statements. I will call you at the jail if I need to. I will answer any questions that you have, and I do apologize for interrupting, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Davis, Ms. Gant will give you a call, all right? That's the best thing. The state is listening. I don't want you to incriminate yourself by mistake. All right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care. Who do we have next?
Position 19, Whitefield.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 22 CR 006967J, in which you're charged with one count of battery family violence with the offense date of October the 16th. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I see that this is your first arrest, so we will go straight to the state. I'm sorry, my Zoom scrambled. Whose case is this for the state?
That would be me, Your Honor, ASG Backus.
Good to see you, Ms. Backus. Good afternoon.
see you
Please
as well.
proceed.
First. Go
Yes,
ahead.
Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday. Officers responded to a dispute call at 280 Richardson Street, Southwest, Apartment 5. Upon arrival, they were told by multiple children that their mother was arguing upstairs with her boyfriend. And they said they saw a gun. The officer spoke with both the defendant and the victim, Mr. Aubrey Watson, and they did ascertain that the gun was not a part of the dispute. However, Mr. Watson had blood on his face and had a visible swollen left cheek. He said that they were arguing inside the room and she was throwing things and threw a metal shoe rack that was on the door, and claimed that it accidentally hit him in the face. And that's how he sustained the laceration. Well, he told the officers at the time that he sustained the laceration from going to the club, not from the shoe rack. However, when our victim witness advocate spoke with him, he said that they were in a relationship. They don't live together. They don't have any children. But he said during the argument that the shoe rack was the cause of the laceration on his face. And he also said that the children.
Ms. Backus?
He did say that he did not fear the defendant. He will be on Zoom if your honor wants to sound for him. However, the state is recommending a $2,500 surety bond, a no further contact, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further.
All right, and give me the name of the alleged victim again, Ms. Backus.
Aubrey Watson.
All right, I am sounding for Aubrey Watson at this time. If Aubrey Watson is on this Zoom call and wishes to make a statement, this is your opportunity to do so. I will need you to unmute and make that statement.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, you need to turn on your camera if you wish to make a statement. Do you wish to make a statement today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please turn on your camera. All right, please raise your right hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, put your hand down. What would you like to tell me?
I just want to say that, people do make mistakes. You get what I'm saying? But also, she's very hardworking. She worked 2 jobs. She worked almost 20 hours a day. Yes, we got to arguing, and just being honest, accidentally hit me. I don't fear her. I'm in love with her. I just, mistakes happen. I just, may you give her a signature bond, please.
All right, thank you for that statement. All right, who represents Ms. Whitefield?
I do, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. Please proceed.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My client is 37 years old. She tells me that what happened was a mistake. She didn't intend to hit him. She was moving around. She was actually helping him to pack some stuff. And this rack that she had in her hand happened to hit him. So it was not intentional. My client is 37 years old. She does not have any criminal history, Your Honor. And based on what she tells me really happened and the testimony of her husband, I would ask the court to give her a signature bond so she can get out of jail and get on with doing what she does. She tells me that she works. She braids hair, and she also works sometimes as a janitor, Your Honor. So she is gainfully employed. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. McLeod. At this time, the defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services. She is to take the one-day anger awareness course. She is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. I will not order the stay away or the no further contact. She is to have no further violent contact with Aubrey Watson at this time. Is there anything further?
Nothing further.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you. Who do we have next? And is Ms. Gant now in the breakout with courtroom 3 and the interpreter?
Yes, they are, Judge.
Oh, wonderful, thank you.
We
All right,
also
who do we
have,
have next?
come on, sir. Mr. Curtis, the private attorney case, and we have his private attorney right next to him. You can have a seat, Mr. Curtis.
I'm sorry, that was position 6. Okay. All right, Mr. Curtis, your case number is 22 CR 006954G, in which you're charged with simple battery with the offense date of October the 15th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Your Honor,
thank you.
excuse me. Sorry.
Yes. All right, Mr. Howard.
This is 4th arrest. He don't have any violence. 2021 DUI conviction. Another 2021 DUI arrest. It was reduced to reckless driving conviction. And a 2017 DUI out of Florida conviction. That's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sowery.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to Gaslight, and it's located at 890C Atlanta Street in Roswell, Georgia. They responded to the incident location regarding the defendant who was a patron at the bar. Due to the defendant's drunk nature at the bar, servers decided to stop serving him alcohol, and that's when the defendant got upset. He began to act belligerent and hit individuals at the restaurant. The defendant was then asked to leave, and he pushed the victim, whose name is Jason Torres, that's Torres, and then he attempted to punch another employee, but he missed. As we've heard from pretrial, this defendant does have 2 DUI convictions in his history, so he does present a risk of reoffending. The state's recommendation in this case is a $2,000 surety bond, to stay away from the incident location, no contact with the victim, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Nothing further.
All right, thank you. And you said that this is a bar? The incident location, Ms. Sowery?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, is this Ms. Kim? I'm sorry, this case, private attorney. Counsel, please enter your appearance and then please proceed with your bond argument.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Henry Toller, Toler.
All right.
Mr. Curtis. I was part of the DUI cases in Cobb County. Your Honor, he's a veteran. He served several tours. He currently works with the Attorney General's office. So he's got a fantastic job, Your Honor. I think this is an isolated incident. We have no problem with him not returning to Gaslight. We certainly won't have any further contact with the alleged victims in this case. I think maybe 2 sides of the story, but at any rate, the further bond hearing, and Your Honor, upon release from the jail, he'll be rolling into an anger management class, of course, getting the Or Family Violence Intervention Program, which we'll be completing soon. Was a 24-week program, but he's going to be enrolling in that. He's going to take care of this matter as a mature result. Mature adult, I'm sorry, I have to mask. Mature adult that he is, but yeah, we filed with a $2,000 surety bond.
Okay, thank you. I'll accept that recommendation. Defendant will receive a $2,000 surety bond. He is to stay away from the incident location, the Gaslight, I believe, bar on Atlanta Street in Roswell. He is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition, and no contact with Mr. Torres. Is Mr. Torres on this Zoom conference and wishes to be heard at this time? All right, hearing none. I believe that concludes his case. Anything further, Mr. Toller or Ms. Sowery?
Nothing further from the state.
Nothing further defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. All right, who do we have next?
Did you have something to say, sir?
Next, if I may excuse.
Yes, you can. Take care. Have a good afternoon, Mr. Toller.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a seat over there, Mr. Curtis. Mr. Oakley, add-on position 3. Come on.
Oh, okay. I don't think I have the add-on yet. Let's see.
I did send it to your email, Judge.
Okay. It might be this, when I have Zoom up, sometimes things don't.
I sent it to your,
We can
Okay,
hold off
all right,
on
here,
that.
no, that's fine, we've got it, okay. I'm looking at, all right, are you Rashad Oakley?
Yeah, no.
All right, your case is 22 CR 003975Y. You're charged with battery, family violence with the offense date of October 16th. You understand your rights?
Yeah, no.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
This second arrest, last arrest was 2020, possession of a controlled substance out of Iowa. And he's a resident of North Carolina.
Okay, thank you. All right, my Zoom again. Whose case is this for the state? Is it yours, Ms. Backus?
No, Judge, it's mine. ASG Sotole.
All right, Mr. Tola, please proceed.
Yes, Judge. In this case, the defendant and the victim were involved in a physical dispute. The defendant picked the victim up and threw her on the ground, causing her to hit her head on the pavement and ended up with a 1-inch gash on her forehead, as well as a small lump. The state's bond recommendation is a $3,500 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Chastity Stansel, and that's spelled CHASSITY. Stay away from the incident location, 108 Holly Road, HOLLY Road, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30314, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. And Your Honor, the state is requesting for a surety bond despite the limited criminal history due to the defendant having a North Carolina address. And as a result, he does run the risk of being a flight risk, and the state wants to ensure that he will return to court when summoned.
All right, thank you, Ms. Tola. Oh, let me see if I can make this larger so I don't have to keep asking. Whose case is this? Ms. Kim, please
Yes,
proceed.
Your
Good
Honor.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mr. Oakley is 24 years old and he resides at North Carolina. However, it's only 3 hours drive away. He was visiting his family members here in Georgia. He has sisters, auntie, cousins, that he has relatives here who his sister was having a homecoming, and he wanted to introduce his girlfriend to his family members here in Georgia. He's gainfully employed. He works at night shift. He does international traveling agency, and this is a relatively new job that he does not want to lose his job. So he would like to get out of the jail as fast as he can. He has some college education, and we would like to request for signature on bond since he has no other violence records as whatsoever. And we believe that he can drive 3 hours to be responsible. Thank you.
All right, I'm looking for the victim. I'm sorry, Ms. Sotole. What was the victim's last name? I have Chastity Stanfield, is that correct?
No, Judge, it's Stansel, S-T as in Tom, A, N as in Nancy, C as in cat, I-L, Stansel.
All right, I'm sounding for Ms. Stansel at this time. If Ms. Stansel is on the Zoom conference and wishes to make a statement, this is your opportunity to do so. All right, hearing none, defendant will receive a $3,500 signature bond through pretrial. I understand that he is an out-of-state resident. Mr. Howard, will he be able to participate via Zoom?
It'll be per judge.
All right, per judge. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case and stay away from that incident location. And he is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons at this time. Is there anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you very much. Mr. Oakley, I'll give you a call. You got the signature bond, so you can go home. And if you have any question, you can ask me later.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
I see the judge real quick.
No.
Very
Please,
quickly, Mr. Oakley. Is it about the bond? That's the only questions I'll hear.
About the chastity.
No.
No.
Okay. Please speak to Ms. Kim. I don't want you to say anything that will interfere with your representation. If you want to give her a brief call now, it sounds like it might be an urgent matter. And if she needs to speak with me again before the conclusion of the calendar, let's let her do that. All right. All right. Who do we have next at the jail?
Position 5, Brunson.
Please let Mr. Oakley give Ms. Kim a call if it sounds like it might be urgent. All right. All right. Are you Kiana Brunson?
Yes.
Your case number is 22 CR 006955D, in which you're charged with affray, which means fighting, and public drunkenness with the offense date of October the 16th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
First arrest.
Thank you. Ms. Soury.
Yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation in this case is a $2,000 surety. That's $1,000 on each charge, with conditions of no contact with the cross defendant, whose name is Aaron Tyson, common spelling, and to comply with any MARTA suspensions or orders, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Briefly, Your Honor, the facts of this case is that officers saw the defendant and the cross defendant in the parking lot of MARTA located at 80 Anderson Avenue in Atlanta. When they approached the defendant and the cross defendant, the defendant had scratches on her face and she was breathing heavily, and there was an odor of alcohol coming from her breath, to which she admitted to drinking. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 21 years old. As Vitrala stated, she has no criminal history at all, Your Honor. She is a native of Atlanta, a high school graduate. She is gainfully employed. She denies that they were fighting, Your Honor. She just said they had gone to the game to watch the, I think the Philadelphia 49ers or somebody play, but they had gone to the game and they were just having an argument. It wasn't anything serious. She denies that they were fighting, Your Honor. And she does not want to stay away because they are in a relationship.
All right, and is Mr. Tyson on the line?
He's actually in,
He's a cross defendant. He's a
Yes,
cross defendant.
yeah.
Okay, I've got it. I understand. All right, at this time, the defendant will receive a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services. She is to have no contact with the alleged, with the cross defendant in this case at this time, and to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to Ms. Brunson. Who do we have next?
4, Brisker.
I'm sorry, that number.
Position 4, Brisker.
All right, thank you. Your case number is 22 CR 006953J, in which you're charged with battery of family violence with the offense date of April the 24th of 2021. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Howard?
This 10th arrest. Last was 2018 battery DV, simple battery disorderly conduct. They were dismissed. 2016 probation, failure to report. Another 2016 probation, it was not prosecuted. 2016 given false name, theft by taking. The given false name was dead docket. 2014 probation, not prosecuted. 2014 possession of a Schedule 2, it was dismissed. 2014 misdemeanor possession of marijuana conviction. 2013 marijuana arrest. He had a burglary that was dismissed from 2009. The theft by receiving, he got first offender for. That's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Howard, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to 208 Whitworth Drive in Atlanta. That's WHITWORTH. They responded regarding a physical dispute. When they arrived, the victim in this case, whose name is Zakiya, that's ZAKIYA, last name Kane, she told officers that the defendant, who was her boyfriend and they lived together, had pushed her into a cabinet and it caused bruises to her wrist and her knee. The victim did also inform officers she was going to file a TPO and an eviction on the defendant. The state's recommendation in this case is a $4,000 surety bond with conditions of no contact with the victim, a one-day anger awareness course, stay away and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Your Honor, as we've heard from pretrial, the defendant does have violent offenses in his past. He does present a risk of reoffending and intimidating this victim witness as they are in a relationship, and he does have probation violations in his history. So again, the state is asking for that $4,000 surety bond. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. Sorry. I'm gonna sound for the victim last name, alleged victim last name Kane at this time. If Ms. Kane is present on this Zoom conference and wishes to be heard, this is your opportunity to do so. I believe I saw someone with that name earlier.
Yes, hello.
All right, would you like to make a statement? Before you begin, would you do want to make the statement?
Yes.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I just want to say, Jordan is not usually violent. I'm not asking for no contact, but I would like maybe for him to leave the property.
Okay, all right, thank you for that statement. I appreciate that at this time. Is this Miss Kim's case or Miss Gant? Is it yours, Miss Gant? If you're speaking,
Yes,
you're
Your
muted.
Honor.
Here's Ms. Gann.
I had a little trouble getting to the unmute button. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Jordan. Mr. Jordan Brisker is 31 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life, Your Honor. He does have family here, but he doesn't have any children. Mr. Brisker completed high school. He is currently employed at a hardscaping stone manufacturing company. He has been in that position for the past 2 months. He denies the allegations, Your Honor. Regarding my client's history, we heard about a battery charge back in 2018. However, that was dismissed. Therefore, that is not a conviction. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Brisker's behalf in light of his negative history for violence. He indicated that he wants to continue having contact with Ms. Brisker. I would ask the court for a no violent contact order. We are opposed to the stay away. However, we will defer to the court's ruling, being that we have heard from the complaining witness. My client does have an alternate residence. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible for a signature bond, then I would ask for the lowest bond possible with a one-time law enforcement escort so that he can retrieve any belongings. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gant. At this time, the defendant will receive a $2,500 surety bond. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim at this time. That can be revisited at a later date. He is to stay away from the address on Whitworth Drive. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items, and he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition.
And Your Honor, I do apologize for interrupting. I would bring to the court's attention that this incident occurred over a year ago, April 24th, 2021. So I do not believe that there is a concern regarding a cooling off period, although my client is presumed innocent, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, I would state we've heard from the victim. She essentially does not want the defendant to return back. So I would ask that you keep your ruling as stated.
All right, the ruling will stand. Thank you, Ms. Gant and Ms. Sowery, both for your advocacy. Anything further from either party?
Nothing further.
And Your Honor, did you order that one-time law enforcement escort?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position 3, Alvarado, the Spanish interpreter case.
All right, we are ready on that. Madam Interpreter, will you please raise your right hand? Is she back on the screen?
I'm right here.
All right, good. Thank you for speaking so that scrambles the Zoom back.
Right, it highlights.
Do you swear and affirm that the translation you'll make today from English to Spanish, Spanish to English will be the most accurate according to your the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, and everyone, please give time for interpretation to catch up.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Alvarado, your case number is 22 CR 006952G.
Señor Alvarado, Armando, su número de caso es 22CR006952G.
Okay.
In this
Okay.
case, you are charged with 1 count of driving under the influence of alcohol less safe.
En este cargo usted tiene en este caso usted tiene un cargo por manejar incapacitado por los efectos del alcohol.
1 count of failure to maintain lane or improper lane change.
Y otro cargo por cambio inapropiado de carril.
And 1 count of possession of open alcohol container.
Y el tercer cargo por tenencia de un envase de bebida alcohólica abierto.
With the offense date of October the 16th of 2022.
Con la fecha del incidente del 16 de octubre del 2022.
You have an absolute right to remain silent.
Usted tiene el derecho constitucional de guardar silencio.
Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Todo lo que usted diga puede y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney here today.
Usted tiene derecho a un abogado hoy aquí.
And this proceeding is being broadcast over the internet. That means anyone can watch it.
Y este proceso está siendo publicado por la internet, lo que significa que todo el mundo, cualquier persona puede verlo.
Do you understand your rights today?
¿Usted entiende estos derechos constitucionales?
Sí, lo entiendo.
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard has informed me that it's his first arrest, so we'll go straight to Ms. Sowery.
El señor Howard ha informado que este es el primer arresto de este señor, así que vamos a hablar con la fiscal.
Ms. Sowery, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell, Georgia.
Este incidente ocurrió en Holcomb Bridge Road en Roswell, Georgia.
Sí.
An officer was patrolling the area when he observed a vehicle driven by the defendant with no headlights.
Un oficial estaba patrullando el área cuando observó que el vehículo del acusado estaba siendo manejado sin las luces de frente.
The defendant was also seen failing to maintain his lane.
También se observó que este acusado no se manejaba sin mantenerse dentro de su carril.
By driving in 2 lanes for a period of time before correcting himself.
Al manejar entre 2 carriles por un periodo de tiempo antes de volver a un carril apropiadamente.
The officer initiated a stop and the defendant did not initially stop.
El oficial inició una detención, pero inicialmente el acusado no se detuvo.
He continued past nearby parking lots, went through a light, and then he eventually stopped.
El acusado continuó manejando hacia un estacionamiento, pasó una luz y entonces recién él se detuvo.
When contact was made, the defendant told officers that he was coming from a bar and had 1 beer to drink.
Cuando se detuvo y se pudo hacer contacto con el acusado, él le dijo al oficial que venía de un bar en donde había tomado una cerveza.
The defendant was asked to perform fields and he agreed.
También se le pidió al acusado que hiciera pruebas en el área y él estuvo de acuerdo.
The results of the field test was inconclusive due to the language barrier.
El resultado de estas pruebas fueron inconclusas debido a la barrera de lenguaje existente.
The defendant was then asked to give a breath test, which he agreed, and the results were 0.24.
También se le pidió al acusado que tomara un análisis de aliento, lo que dio un resultado de 0.24.
Which is 3 times the legal limit.
lo que es un resultado 3 veces mayor del nivel legal permitido.
Your Honor, the state's recommendation in this case is a $5,000 surety bond.
La recomendación para en este caso de la fiscalía es de $5,000 de fianza bajo garantía.
That's $3,000 on the DUI and $2,000 on the remaining counts.
Serían $3,000 por el cargo de manejar incapacitado por los efectos del alcohol y los $2,000 por el resto de los cargos.
To comply with DDS orders,
Que se cumplan las órdenes del Departamento de Transporte
no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas mientras esté bajo fianza.
Nothing further.
Nada más.
Thank you, Ms. Gant. Please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Armando Alvarado is 37 years old. And
Su señoría el señor Armando Alvarado tiene 37 años de edad.
he has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 2.5 years and has family, including nieces and nephews and a sister.
Él ha estado en el área de Atlanta por 2 años y medio y tiene familiares que incluyen sobrinos, hermana y sobrinas.
He also has 2 children ages 11 and 12, and he completed high school and studied law in college, but did not finish.
Él tiene 2 niños de edades 11 y 12 años. Él terminó su escuela secundaria y también estudió unos años de abogacía, pero no terminó su carrera.
He is currently employed in landscaping and construction and has been so for the past 3 months.
Él está empleado en la industria del paisajismo y la construcción durante los últimos 3 meses.
He denies the allegations and is presumed innocent.
Él niega los alegatos y se declara inocente.
And I would bring to the court's attention that the state has not laid a proper foundation to read his blood alcohol concentration results or his breath analyzer results. So the defense certainly objects to that information.
Hold on one second, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you. El señor, voy a hacer una objeción porque la fiscalía no tuvo la capacidad de crear una declaración fundamental expresando el primer cargo, el motivo por el cargo ha sido alegado, por eso yo quiero dejar una objeción.
This is Mr. Alvarado's first arrest. Therefore, I am requesting a signature bond.
Este es el primer arresto que se tiene el señor Alvarado, por eso estoy solicitando una fianza bajo firma para él.
And if your honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask for a bond of no more than $2,000.
Y si su señoría no cree que mi cliente cumple los requisitos para recibir una fianza bajo firma, quiero solicitar que la fianza no supere o una fianza de $2,000.
And that is $2,000, my apologies, $1,000 for the DUI and $500 for each of the remaining offenses.
Y eso sería $1,000 por el cargo de manejar incapacitado por los efectos del alcohol, $500 por cada uno de los otros 2 cargos restantes.
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nada más. Gracias, su señoría.
All right. Anything further from the state or defense before I issue my decision?
¿Algo más de las partes antes de tomar una decisión?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would like to also place on the record that there were multiple cans of alcoholic beverages found in his vehicle.
Sí, su señoría. La fiscalía quisiera dejar en el acta que se encontraron varios envases, latas de bebida alcohólica abiertas dentro del vehículo.
And those cans were empty. Nothing further.
Y esas latas estaban vacías. Nada más.
All right, Ms. Gant, anything further?
¿Algo más, señorita Gan?
Just, Your Honor, to just reiterate that the failed sobriety tests were in fact inconclusive, and as we see today, my client does have a language barrier.
Nada más que el comentario de que el resultado del alcoholímetro dio no conclusivo y que también existió una barrera del lenguaje.
All right, thank you. At this time, the defendant's going to receive a $4,000 surety bond. It is $2,500 for count 1, the DUI.
Le otorgo una fianza de $4,000 bajo garantía, serían $2,500 por el cargo de manejar bajo los efectos del alcohol.
$500 for the improper lane change.
$500 por el cambio errático de carril.
And $1,000 for the possession of the open alcohol container.
Y $1,000 por la tenencia de envase de bebida alcohólica abierta.
He is not to drive without a valid license issued by the Georgia DDS.
Él no puede, queda prohibido conducir sin una licencia válida otorgada por el Departamento de Transporte.
He is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Queda prohibida el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
And he will be reset to the November 1st state all-purpose calendar.
Y entonces va a tener otra audiencia el 1 de noviembre del 2022 para los nuevos lista de causas estatales.
And at that time, his case can be re-examined.
Para que este caso vuelva a ser reexaminado.
All right, I believe that concludes this matter. Anything further from state or defense?
¿Algo más?
Nothing further from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nada más de la Fiscalía o de la Defensa.
Anything further from the state?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir.
Mucha suerte, señor.
Do you have any questions regarding the bond before we conclude?
Señor, ¿tiene alguna pregunta acerca de la fianza antes de terminar y cerrar esta decisión?
No.
No.
Está claro.
It's clear.
All right, thank you.
Gracias, señor.
Madam Interpreter, does that conclude your business with the court here today?
I believe so, and if you want me to make an announcement, I'll gladly do it, Your Honor.
Yes, please, make an announcement.
Buenas tardes. ¿Hay alguien que necesite la ayuda de intérprete en español para hablar con la señora jueza? Por favor, levante su mano y salude. I don't think, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much. You can be excused.
You're very welcome. Have a good evening.
All right, bye-bye.
Position 19, Watson.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 22 CR 006966H, in which you're charged with 1 count of battery family violence with the offense date of October the 16th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
For Watson, 6 total. Last arrest was 2011, forgery in the 1st degree, forgery in the 2nd degree. Those are dismissed. 2010, obstruction dismissed. Simple battery, first offender from 2010. Before that was hindering the apprehension of a criminal from 04. That was dead docket. That's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Backus?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday. An officer was dispatched to a dispute call at 1571 Sarah M. Hardin Drive Southwest. Upon arrival, the officer met with the victim, Mr. Frederick Smith, who advised his wife. The defendant cut him on his left forearm. The defendant and Mr. Smith were involved in a dispute that resulted in her thinking that he had closed the door and struck her in the head on purpose. And then she walked into the kitchen, looked for something to strike him with. And it was at that point that the defendant picked up a metal spatula with a serrated edge, And the defendant, I believe, demonstrated to the officer that she swung the spatula back and forth in an attempt to have her husband clear out of her space. Mr. Smith told the officers that the defendant has some other issues going on, but he did say that the cut was a result of being, I guess, hit with the spatula. I believe our victim witness advocate did speak with him, said that they are married, they live together, and that he said he's not in fear of the defendant. He may be on Zoom, and so Your Honor may want to sound for him, but the state's position as to no cool down period and no contact at this point is important. The state is recommending a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact again with Frederick Smith, stay away from that incident location, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. Backus. I am going to sound for Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, I saw him on Zoom earlier. If you'd like to make a statement, this is your opportunity to do so. I just need you to turn on your camera. Would you like to make a statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Please raise your right hand. Do
Okay.
you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, please proceed.
Okay. Me and my wife, we got into this argument, but we've been married 5.5 years, and this is the first time that something like this ever happened between us. So my whole thing is, I feel like it was just as much as my fault as it was hers. We both played a part in this. And for the record, I never called the police. I don't even know how they got to my house about that, but I would like Ms. Watson to return home. Ms. Watson is the lifeline of this family. And there is no ill will, no fear, no nothing. And I would like my wife to return. The little cut that I had that got sewed up and taken care of, and everything's back to normal. Only thing missing is Miss Watson.
All right, thank you, sir, for making that statement. Ms. McLeod, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 53 years old. She tells me that she is a mother of 8 grandchildren. They're all 6 and under, and they're a really important part of her life. She tells me that she did not cut her husband with intent. She said she had the spatula in her hand and it hit him by accident. She was just trying to get him out of her space and she had it in her hand. It was not her intention to hurt him at all or to hit him with the spatula. And she told me that he drove himself to the hospital in her car. She felt very bad that this had happened, Your Honor, because her intent was not to hurt her husband. She has no significant criminal history, Your Honor, and any history that she has is quite remote. So I would ask the court to give her a signature bond so she can get out of jail. Mr. Smith has spoken, and his version of events seemed to mirror what she said, Your Honor. I think it definitely was an accident. It is not a habit of hers to get into physical altercations with anyone, and certainly not with her husband. Based on that, Your Honor, I would. By the way, she tells me that also that she is disabled, Your Honor, so she's not in a position to post bond. I would ask the court to give her a signature bond because I do think that she is qualified for that, so she can get out of jail. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, anything further from the state of defense?
Your Honor, just would like to point out again, nobody has made the allegation that she is a long-term violent offender. We do worry about the cool down period. And also, as Mr. Smith said, he was not the one who called the police, which means that somebody heard it, which means it was alarming enough for someone to contact the police. Nothing further.
All right, thank you. At this time, defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services. She's to take the 1-day anger awareness course and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further?
Nothing.
We would ask for no further violent contact if Your Honor is not going to give you no further contact.
Yes, no further violent contact with Mr. Smith.
We are okay with that, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, Ms. Watson. Who do we have next?
Position 2, Alexander.
All right, good afternoon.
Good
Your
afternoon,
case
Your
number
Honor.
is 22CR006951J, and what you're charged with simple battery and willful obstruction with the offense date of October the 16th. Do you understand your rights? Do you understand your rights? Yes? All right. Mr. Howard?
This is a fourth arrest. Last arrest was 2018 for a suspended license. Before that was 1999 out of New York.
Okay. All right, I think that's good. Ms. Sowery, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to 7365. The street address name is SPOLETO Loop in Fairburn, Georgia. They responded to this incident regarding a dispute. The victim in this case, whose name is Eric Harper, he was dispatched to repossess the defendant's vehicle. She then attacked the victim with a metal pole and struck him in the back multiple times. When officers arrived to arrest the defendant, she resisted by continuously pulling her hands and arms back. The state's recommendation in this case is a $3,000 surety bond. That's $2,000 on the simple battery, $1,000 on the obstruction, with conditions of no contact with the victim and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and also a one-day anger awareness course. Nothing further.
All right, thank you, Ms. Sowery. And I'm sorry, can you spell the address again? What was the address?
Yes, it was 7365. Street name is SPOLETO Loop in
Okay.
Fairburn.
And that's the alleged to be the defendant's address, correct?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gant, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Kadada Alexander is 46 years old. She has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for over 20 years. She does have family here, including her husband. She has been married for 7 years, and she is the proud mother of 5 children, ages 12, 14, 16, 22, and 26. She has a bachelor's in literature. She is currently employed as a manager at a property management company, and she has been in that position for the past 10 years. She strongly denies the allegation. She denies striking anyone. And further, Your Honor, she states that she was smoking a cigarette. The officer approached her in a very aggressive manner, telling her to put the DAMN cigarette down. And then the next thing she knows, she states that the officer arrested her. He states that this officer grabbed her and slammed her against the car. She states that she has bruises on her wrist, and the police kept telling her to stop moving. She states that she has video. This was took place in front of her children. And she further states, Your Honor, that she was not moving. She was not resisting arrest. My client does not have any convictions for violence, Your Honor. We heard about a driving offense from 2018. I am requesting a signature bond for Ms. Alexander for the allegation. She is presumed innocent, Your Honor, and we are unopposed to the no contact order, Your Honor. Thank you.
And Your Honor, the state is asking for that surety bond due to the nature of this incident and the fact that a pole was used during the course, nothing further.
And again, Your Honor, I do apologize for interrupting. These are allegations. She's presumed innocent.
All right, thank you. At this time, defendant will receive a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. It'll be $3,000 on count 1 and $1,000 on count 2. She's to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case, take the one-day anger awareness course, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, to include the subject weapon at issue. Is there anything further?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the defense. Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, ma'am. Who do we have next?
Thank you.
Position 13, Menequez.
All right, Good afternoon. Your case number is 22 CR 006961F, and once you're charged with simple battery and simple assault with the offense date of October the 15th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please proceed. Mr. Howard?
Last arrest was back in March. Probation violation out of Richmond County. She's on probation for riot in a penal institution. In March, they gave her 15 years probation for that. Also on probation for felony obstruction. On probation for shoplifting. I got probation violations from 2016, 17, 2021, 2022. 2015 obstruction conviction.
Okay.
She got some violence that was dismissed. 4 counts of ag assault out of Habersham County. That was from 2014. Battery conviction. I got one more from what's this 2010. All right, that's it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Tele?
Yes, Judge. In this case, on September 15th of this year, the defendant kicked and spit on Officer Mayfield of the Union City Police Department while he was assisting officers of the same department with placing the defendant into custody. The defendant also tried to strike Officer Mayfield with a closed fist during the process. The state's bond recommendation, Judge, there's already a $10,000 total surety bond set, and that's $5,000 for each count. The state would like to keep that the same due to the lengthy criminal history, which consists of many violent offenses. The conditions being completion of an anger awareness course and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out. And Judge, the state is concerned that this defendant is a danger to the community. She runs the risk of reoffending as well. She has, as you did hear from pretrial, 4 convictions and 2 arrests for willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, a conviction and an arrest for interference with government property, and a conviction for simple assault, as well as 5 probation violations.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tole. Ms. Kim, please proceed.
Yes, Miss Jasmine Menicas is actually 34 years old, and she actually has been here in Georgia not that long ago. His mother is from Pennsylvania. He has his fiance. She has her fiance here, and they were planning to marry on November 2nd, 2022. And fiance has relatives, and she also has a father's auntie here in Georgia. She's been working at LaQuanta as a housekeeper for $11 per hour, and she will be getting her first check this coming Friday. So she really want to get out and take care of her job. However, she had another case, felony charges, and she got no bond. So I really want this case to be signature on bond, since she cannot go anywhere. She's not going to be a flight risk. She, regardless of her ties to the community, she will be here because of those felony charges. So we would like to request for a signature on bond. And also, she graduated from high school, and she does have some medical conditions that she needs some attention as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this time, defendant will receive a $5,000 surety bond, $2,500 each charge, and she's have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. I apologize, Mr. Tully. Will you please give me the state's requested special conditions as well?
Yes, Judge.
The stay away name. I mean, it's the victim's name, please.
The victim's name, Officer Mayfield.
No contact with Officer Mayfield, and no stay away was requested, correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All right. I believe that concludes this case. Is there anything further?
Your Honor, because Officer Mayfield is officer, he may have to do the duty, and she's in jail. She may not be able to get away from
Right.
him. So can we
Understood.
do violent contact?
All right. No, I don't want her to have contact with him outside of any official duties. So as long as that part is clear.
Yes. That
All
was
right.
clear. Thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, ma'am. Who do we have next?
16, Smith.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 22 CR 006964E, and you're charged with battery with the offense date of October the 15th. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, Mr. Howard.
It's the fourth arrest. Last was 2020 aggravated assault, kidnapping, robbery, battery. That appears to be open in Clayton County. 2015 possession of cocaine, obstruction, felony terroristic threats. He got first offender for those. That should be completed. He only got 2 years. Before that was disorderly conduct, giving false name, battery. Those were a dead docket from 2010.
All right. I'm sorry, and the ag assault was 2020?
That.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on. Yes, the ag assault, kidnapping, robbery, and battery.
2020.
It's all
right.
one arrest.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Backus?
Yes, Your Honor, that 2020, those 2020 charges are under, it is open. It's, he is out on bond for that right now. The case number is 2021 CR 01034. And he also had, looks like a simple battery, which was dead docketed. I'm assuming maybe pretrial diversion, but that was in 2015 as well. This incident occurred on October 15th. That's so Saturday. Officers responded to a fight in progress call at 697 Windsor Street Southwest. Upon arrival, the victim, Ms. Barbara Williams, advised that she and her boyfriend, the defendant, were in first in a verbal argument about him believing she was involved romantically with their neighbor, which she denied. Ms. Williams also told the defendant to turn down the music so that the neighbors wouldn't call the police, and he was upset at that as well. So she went upstairs to take a shower. She said shortly after, the defendant came into that same bathroom where she was showering, pulled the curtain back, started calling her names, making more accusations. Then he grabbed her by her face, to which she yelled at him to stop and get off. She then exited the shower, began to dry off, and that's when she said that he struck her on the right side of her head repeatedly, began grabbing her face, and he was hitting her while she was balled up on the bed. She also told the officer that he was throwing things in the room during this altercation, and I believe Miss Williams' youngest daughter had to come to her aid, and she is the one who called the police. The officer did observe injuries, swelling to the right bottom side of her face. Her hair was pulled out, and her eyes were bloodshot red. She was missing lashes. I believe our victim witness advocate spoke with Miss Williams, said that they are in a relationship, they live together, that he was drinking that night. And she said that she was not in fear for her safety. I believe that she will be on Zoom, and her name is Miss Barbara Williams. So Your Honor can sound for her. The state is asking, based on that open violent offense and already being out on bond, the state is asking for a $3,500 surety bond. No further contact with Miss Barbara Williams. Stay away from the incident location. Again, that's 697 Windsor Street Southwest. 1-day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, before I go to Ms. McLeod, I am going to sound for Ms. Williams. Ms. Williams, if you are present and I see you on the conference, you need to turn on your camera and angle it so that we can see you. And can you please unmute your screen if you'd like to make a statement? You are not required to do so. Would you like to make a statement, Ms. Williams?
Yes, I'm not in fear, Mr. Smith.
Okay,
but
before you start talking, before you start speaking, please raise your right hand. And we need to, yes, that's better. We can finally see you. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. And please try to angle the camera the way you just had it so we can see you. We just need to be able to identify you, okay, Ms. Williams? Thank you. Go ahead, please proceed.
Yes, I was just saying I'm not in fear of him, but only just that night I was kind of scared because we both was like in a rage. So I don't fear him at all. He works, he take care of stuff around here, and I am myself. and he has a 4-year-old little girl, so I don't feel the need that he needs to be, detained any longer.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Williams, for making that statement. Ms. McLeod? Oh, Ms. Williams,
Your Honor.
were you finished, Ms. Williams?
I am.
All right, thank you. Ms.
Come
McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 29 years old. He is gainfully employed right now. He is a native of Atlanta. He is the father of a 5-year-old daughter, and he tells me that his daughter is currently sick, and he is quite concerned about that, Your Honor. While we acknowledge that he does have the open charges in Clayton County, he told me that he believes that those charges, if they are not dismissed, will be significantly reduced to what it is currently stated as, Your Honor. We have heard from the victim, and she has stated that she is not afraid of my client. If the court is not inclined to give him a signature bond, which, based on the fact that he has an outstanding case, I understand if the court is not inclined to do so, we would ask that the court give him a more reasonable bond on the $3,500, because he tells me he's not in a position to pay anything significant towards bond, Your Honor, and he doesn't have anyone to help him with that. Based upon that, Your Honor, I would ask the court to reduce the bond that the state is asking if the court is not inclined to give him a signature bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. At this time, the defendant will receive a $2,500 surety bond. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim at this time and stay away from the incident location on Windsor Street. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to get any items, and he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Smith. Who do we have next?
15, some more.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 22CR00693. In which you're charged with theft by shoplifting with the offense date of September the 28th. Do you understand me right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
First.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howard. I appreciate that. Let's see. Is this Miss Backus' case? Yes, okay, I'm sorry. When you start to speak, it scrambles again. Please proceed. We have a lot of people on Zoom today, more than I'm used to. Please proceed, Ms. Backus.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred, as you said, on September 28th. An officer responded to the Valero gas station located at 3293 Main Street in regards to a shoplifting. Upon arrival, the defendant was gone, but the reporting party, Mr. Muhammad, told the officers that the same male who previously was reported for shoplifting entered the store on the date of incident and used a tree branch to place at the bottom of the door so that the door could not be locked. He came in, stole multiple items, food items, candies, beverages, things of that nature, stuffed them in his bag, and then he left. During the officers' investigation, it was discovered that the defendant had been stealing from this particular location on multiple occasions. At a later time, they were able to spot someone who matched the description and compare that to a clear surveillance video, and the defendant was seen on video committing the act of shoplifting. We are aware that this is his first arrest, Your Honor, and so the state is asking for a $1,500 signature bond. Stay away from that incident location and a theft class.
We would like to request for signature on bond through jail and also no theft class. Your Honor, my client is 22 years old and he has not been able to get any job for the last couple of years. He has not been able to complete his GED, even though he is trying to get it right now. Because of family issues, he was not able to stay in one particular place. He had to keep moving, following his family members. That's why he couldn't finish his high school. And we would like to request for a signature on bond to give him another chance. He was extremely hungry, and we would like to As for no classes, he does not have any money to take the class right now. Thanks, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. At this time, defendant will receive a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. He must stay away from that gas station, I believe it's the Valero on Main Street, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Thanks, Your
Anything
Honor.
further?
Nothing.
All right, best of luck to you.
I'm sorry, Judge, what was the bond amount again?
$1,500 through the jail.
Okay, you're done. Position 14, Martin.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 22 CR 006962Y, and what's your charge with battery with the offense date of August the 31st? Do you understand your rights?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
The second arrest. Last was back in January. It was out of Carrollton for battery DV. It appears to be open. It says transferred to state court.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Backus?
Yes, Your Honor, that January battery family violence was out of Carrollton. The defendant is currently out on bond, and that case number is ST-M as in Mary 2022-1572, and he already had a no further violent contact with the same victim. This incident occurred back on August 31st. An officer responded to 3042 Middleton Road on a dispute call. Upon arrival, the officer spoke with the victim, Ms. Zaria Aki, who advised that she was in a dispute with her boyfriend, the defendant who punched her in the lip and damaged the inside of her car. Ms. Aki also stated that the argument began when she came to the house and the defendant felt she took too long. And it eventually escalated to him attacking her, punching her in the head. She said that he damaged several interior components to her vehicle, as well as set some of her clothes on fire. The officer did observe visible injuries, and that was recorded on the body-worn camera. The officer attempted to, I guess at that time, locate the defendant, knocked on the door, wasn't able to get an answer. She did say that they lived together at that incident location. Your Honor, I believe we will be upgrading this to a battery family violence and also reviewing it for the damage done to her vehicle, as well as the clothes being burned. Based on that open battery family violence, Your Honor, the state is asking for a $3,500 surety bond. No further contact with the victim at this point because the no further violent contact was not successful. So that will be with Zaria Aki. Stay away from that incident location and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Ms. Backus. I'm sounding for Ms. Aki at this time. If Ms. Aki is on this Zoom conference and wishes to be heard. All right, hearing none, Ms. Kim, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Martin is 19 years old, Your Honor, and he has been here in Georgia for about 1.5 years. And the incident location is actually his mother's apartment, 3042 Middleton Road. He resides with his mother, and the complaining witness has not been there. They do not live together. Complaining witness was the one who was trespassing that location. And it is my client's desire to file a TPO restraining order against her, and they have not had any contact whatsoever. And he completely denies the allegations. He does not have, of course, any children. He has his mom here, cousins. He has a job right now. He's been working at a temporary agency service. He's been doing that for 1.5 years, working different jobs, different projects. And he was kicked out at 10th grade, and yet he completed from the GED from Alabama. And we believe that's it. We would like to request for signature on bond. And I called his mother. However, I was not able to actually contact. So I left a text message and voice message.
All right, thank you. At this time, defendant will receive a $3,000 surety bond. He's to have absolutely no contact with the alleged victim, last name Aki. He's to stay away from the incident location. If Miss Aki is there, he can return one time with a member of law enforcement to make that determination. If she's not there, he can return to that location. If she is there, he'll need to stay away. He is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there
Thank you.
anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Martin. Who do we have next? I'm sorry, who do we have at courtroom 2?
Sorry, 17 Trice. I'm sorry, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Trice. Your case is 22 CR 006965A, and you're charged with loitering and prowling with the offense date of October the 16th. Do you understand your rights? I'm assuming that was a yes. All right, Mr. Howard, please proceed.
6 total. Hold on, girl. Let me see. His history come out of the state of Illinois. Last arrest was 04, possession of cannabis. And before that was in the 90s.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Backus?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday. An officer was dispatched to a silent alarm call at 211 Blackland Drive Northwest. The silent alarm for the residents went off from the rear master bedroom, and upon arrival, the officer observed a black male, later identified as the defendant, sitting in his car. When asked, the defendant did provide his driver's license. He came back clear. The officer detained the defendant while canvassing the property and found that the rear master bedroom door was unlocked. He did check, nothing was out of place. The residence appeared to be staged for real estate showings and not current occupancy. The officer searched the defendant's vehicle, didn't find anything from the house, but he said that it did appear that the defendant was possibly living out of the vehicle. And so the defendant told the officer that he entered the property because he was looking for somewhere to stay. I believe once he saw that there was a something inside a computer or something of that nature, he decided to leave out. He was sitting then in his car when the officer arrived. The officer did speak with the owner of the home, who currently resides in California, but she said she had just moved out and her only fear was that had that have happened a week earlier, she would have been in the home. The state is asking for a $1,500 signature bond. Stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And if the defense has some sort of resources to be able to help for housing or whatnot for the defendant, we're asking for that.
Ms. Kim, thank you, Ms. Backus. Ms. Kim, does your client allege to have an address, a stable address?
He only has a mailing address, 89 Ellis Street, but I'm going to actually recommend for social worker services to have a visit so he can get housing resources.
All right, I'll give him the $1,500 signature bond through the jail in light of the fact that he may not have an address for which to report to pretrial. I am going to ask that there be a BHET though. So if we could just write that on the order, but we don't have to have a specific BHET order. And he is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And of course, he must stay away from that incident location. Ms. Backus, will you put it on the record for me one more time? I did not catch the entire thing. Ms. Backus? Uh-oh, did Miss Bridgewater, but did you get the address?
Frozen.
She's frozen, but Ms. Bridgewater, did you get the address? If you got it,
I have the address.
All right,
Yes,
we'll
ma'am,
keep
I have the
rolling.
address.
We'll keep rolling. All right, then. Best of luck to you, Mr. Trice. We can move to the next position.
All right, position number 8, Davis. Position number 8, Davis.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 22 CR 006956C, in which you're charged with 1 count of simple battery with the offense date of October the 8th. Do you understand your rights here today?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
This is third arrest. Last arrest was 6 days ago. Misdemeanor obstruction, misdemeanor theft by receiver. I'd have done with it. Before that was 2012 reckless conduct not prosecuted. So he just got the open case.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sari, if you would please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to 2110 Harbor Point Parkway, that's in Sandy Springs, regarding this incident. The victim in this case, whose name is Antonia Myers, she stated that she went to her apartment that shared with the defendant to retrieve some of her belongings. She stated that the defendant was upset from an argument between the two of them earlier, and he then grabbed her by the neck in an attempt to pick her up off of the floor. And that's when a third party intervened to stop the defendant. Our victim advocate was able to speak with this victim, and she stated that the defendant has been sending her threatening text messages and has been threatening her through phone calls. She also states that the defendant was arrested a few days ago when he showed up at her job, slashed her tires, and stole her tag from her vehicle. This victim is in fear for her safety, and she does not want contact with this defendant. And Your Honor, we also are upgrading this to a family violence as they did live together. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond with conditions of staying away from the incident location, an FFIB, no contact with the victim, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Nothing further.
Ms. Sari, can I please have the victim's name again so I can sound?
Yes, Your Honor, it's Antonia Myers.
All right, I'm sounding for Antonia Myers at this time. If Antonia Myers is on the Zoom conference and wishes to be heard. All right, hearing none, we'll go to Ms. Gant. Ms. Gant, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Nicholas Davis is 33 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area since 2009. He does have family here, but he has no children, Your Honor. Mr. Davis completed high school. He is currently employed as a chef at a local catering company. He has been in that position since 2022. He strongly denies the allegations, but he does agree that this argument arose because of the complaining witness, Antonio Myers, leaving his apartment. He states that she became upset because he had asked her to leave. He states that she brought two people over there, one with the gun, and of course, as she's trying to retrieve her belongings, she had some contact with my client, Mr. Davis. She was trying to grab his telephone, so he was basically trying to get it back from her. And he states that the person with the gun actually pulled a gun on him and put his arm around his neck. He denies placing his hands around her neck at all. My client states that he is the person who called the police about this incident. I do acknowledge my client's history. However, he is innocent, presumed innocent in any open cases, and this case as well. We have not heard, and I do understand that ASG Salary is an officer of the court, but we have not heard anything to corroborate that my client was arrested for going on her job. There is no charge before this court for terroristic threats. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Davis's behalf, and if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000. We are opposed to the stay away, as Mr. Davis informs me that that is in fact his residence. And if Your Honor orders that stay away, I would ask for a one-time law enforcement escort so that Mr. Davis can go back there to confirm that Ms. Myers no longer lives there. And if she has vacated, that he will be allowed to continue living at his residence. We are certainly opposed to the FFIP as well. I did not hear about any convictions for family violence in my client's case, and he is presumed innocent. And Your Honor, finally, I would ask that unless and until the state charges my client with battery family violence, that he be given a bond that is more commensurate with a simple battery charge. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, the state just wants to put on the record that we have information stating that the victim does live there, so that's why we're asking for that stay away. And then also this defendant, he was not on the scene when officers arrived, so we would like the court to take that in consideration as well. Nothing further.
All right. At this time, defendant will receive a $1,500 surety bond. He is to have no further contact with the alleged victim in this case and stay away from the incident location. He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to ascertain whether or not the victim is there. If the victim is not there, he can return to that location. Otherwise, he will collect his belongings and stay away. He is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition of that surety bond. Is there anything further?
Nothing further from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the state.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position number 12, Langford, position number 12.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 22 CR 006959F, in which you're charged with battery, family violence, with the offense date of February the 12th of 2022. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
This is ninth arrest. Last was 2016, failure to appear, federal DV, cruelty in the third. Those were dismissed. 2014, suspended license. 2013, same thing. 2012, possession of cocaine, dead docket. 2011, probation for misdemeanor, possession of marijuana. That's it.
All right,
He has a
thank you.
hold too. Hold on.
I'm sorry, say that again. He has a what?
He has a hold out of Decatur, Georgia. It said weapons offense. That's
Okay.
all.
All right, thank you. Mr. Tole, please proceed.
Yes, Judge. On February 12th of this year, the defendant and the victim were involved in a verbal dispute. When the argument escalated, it became physical, which is when the defendant punched her in the face 5 times, pushed her, and pulled her by the hair. The responding officer noticed bloodstains on her sweater, red marks on her face, and cuts on her bottom lip. The state's bond recommendation is a $4,000 surety bond with conditions of no further contact with the victim, completion of an anger awareness course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. And Judge, the state is not issuing a stay away because the incident location is it occurred at the defendant's residence. And Judge, the state is concerned that he does run the risk of reoffending, considering that he has arrest for battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, a probation violation, and as well as a hold, as you heard from Mr. Howard, for drug offenses.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tole. Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Brandy Langford is 38 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He is the proud father of 2 minor children, ages 7 and 9. He does pay child support for his children, Your Honor. Mr. Langford obtained a GED. He is a certified tractor trailer operator. He has been working in that capacity for 4 years, and he strongly denies the allegations, Your Honor. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Langford's behalf. We did hear about some remote violence. However, Your Honor, that was dismissed. Therefore, it is not a conviction. We are unopposed to let me see here. We're unopposed to any no contact orders. My client does not wish to have any contact with the complaining witness. Again, that is his address, and we would ask for third-party transfer so that he can continue to see his children. If Your Honor determines that he's ineligible for a signature bond, then I would ask for the lowest bond possible, being that he does not have any convictions for violence, and this will also enable him to be released to that hold. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, defendant will receive a $3,000 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case, and he is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further
from the station.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position number 1, Abernathy. Position number 1.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Abernathy. Your case number is 22 CR 006950A, in which you're charged with criminal trespass with the offense date of October the 15th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
35 total. Last arrest was in April. Cobb County, theft by taken. Appears to be open. 2015, criminal damage to property, 2nd degree. Possession of tools, conviction. Pled no load of suspended license in 2015. Probation 2013, 2011. Underlying charges, ag assault. I got 2011 giving false name, 2 counts conviction. 2010 giving false name, no load. Battery DV conviction. Probation for burglary. Disorderly conduct, criminal damage to property conviction, 2009.
That's good. Thank you, Mr. Howard. All right, Ms. Sowry.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred at a racetrack located at 1180 Virginia Avenue in Hateville. An officer was already on the scene conducting an investigation for a different incident. He observed the defendant at the incident location after he was previously trespassed for smoking marijuana. As we've heard the defendant's history from pretrial, this defendant does present a risk of reoffending due to those convictions and multiple probation violations. The state's recommendation is a $2,000 surety bond with conditions of staying away from the incident location and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Richard Abernathy is 47 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life, but he has family here, but he does not have anyone to help him with bond. He completed 10th grade. He has been unemployed since February of 2020. He is unemployed because he is currently undergoing chemotherapy for a chronic condition, Your Honor. He is residentially challenged. However, he does have a mailing address. I'm happy to place that in the chat if Your Honor requires. He strongly denies the allegations. We heard about his history. However, I would just point to the court's attention that it is remote. This is a non-violent offense. He is presumed innocent. Therefore, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Abernathy's behalf so that he can get back to resuming his treatment for his life-threatening illness. And we are unopposed to any stay-away orders. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, the defendant will receive a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. He is absolutely to stay away from the racetrack, I believe, gas station. Don't even go near there, sir, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything further?
Nothing further from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the state.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Petition number 10, Ed. Second and third row. I said that.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Head. Your case number is 22 CR 006958E, in which you're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property with the offense date of October the 16th. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
6 total. Last arrest was in April 2021. Simple battery DV. That's 21 CR 001771E. That's a $5,000 pretrial bond. 2018 felony terrorist threats conviction. No, I'm sorry, misdemeanor. Before that was 2010 FTA not prosecuted. 05 battery not prosecuted. And the 03 battery first offender. And he's on probation for the terrorist threats.
All right.
It's out of DeKalb County.
All right, thank you. Mr. Tole, please proceed.
Yes, Judge. On October 16th of this year, police responded to a vandalism call. When they arrived, the victim stated that the defendant, who was also her child's father, came over demanding that she allow him to see their daughter. The victim refused, causing the defendant to continue banging on the door. When the victim decided to call law enforcement, that's when the defendant became angry and he threw a brick through her window, causing it to break. The state's bond recommendation is a $4,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Chanel Comer, stay away from the incident location, 166 Anderson Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out. And Judge, the state is concerned that this defendant does run the risk of reoffending, and he's also a danger to the community. He has several violent offenses in his history, and also he has an open simple battery family violence case against the very same victim. In this case, Chanel Comer. On April 12th, Judge of 2021, Judge Morrow, he issued a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services with conditions of no further contact with the victim, Chanel Comer. Yet he violated that on October 16th, which is this current case, and that shows his complete disregard for the law, Judge. And our office is also in the process of filing a motion to revoke bond.
All right, thank you. Before I go to Ms. Gant, I see Ms. Comer on the Zoom conference. Ms. Comer, would you like to make a statement? If so, you would need to unmute your screen. All right, hearing none for the moment. Ms. Gant, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Derek Head is 36 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He has a 12-month-old daughter. Your Honor, Mr. Head completed high school. He is currently employed at a moving company. He has been in that position for the past 3 years. He also has certifications in barbering, cosmetology, and HVAC. He strongly denies the allegations. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Head's behalf. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, I would ask for the lowest bond possible, preferably no more than $1,000. We are unopposed to the no contact and the stay away provisions. My client informs me that he does not want to have any contact, nor has he had any contact with Ms. Head. And last, Your Honor, I would request third-party transfer so that he can continue to see his child that he shares with Ms. Cooper. It's a 12-month-old daughter, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, at this time, defendant will receive a $3,000 surety bond. He's to have absolutely no contact with the alleged victim, last name Comer. He can arrange to see his child by making those arrangements, for lack of a better word, through a third party. He is to stay away from the incident location and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition of that surety bond. Is there anything further?
Nothing further from the defense, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position number 6, Sanchez. Right.
It must be 6 on the add-on.
Yes.
Add on, yes, yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, give me a moment. Okay. Mr. Sanchez, your case is 22 CR 006997D, in which you're charged with simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass with the offense date of October the 9th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Second arrest, 2011. Theft by taking, dismissed.
All right, thank you. Mr. Tole.
Yes, Judge. On October 9th of this year, the defendant entered into the victim's back door without her consent. The victim ran to the bathroom in an attempt to escape the defendant. The defendant forced himself through the bathroom door and began grabbing her in an aggressive manner. The state's bond recommendation is a $4,500 total surety bond for count 1, criminal trespass. That's $1,500 with conditions of no further contact with the victim, Cecilia Wilkinson, and that's CECILIA. Stay away from the incident location, 5675 Roswell Road in Sandy Springs, Georgia, 30342, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. For count 2, that's a $3,000 surety bond with the same conditions, as well as completion of an anger awareness course. And Judge, considering the facts of this case and the natures of the parties' relationship, the state is concerned that the defendant does run the risk of intimidating the victim.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tole. And I'm sorry, give me that breakdown one more time that the state is requesting. You said 4,500 for count 1 and 1,500 for count 2?
No, Judge, 4,500 total. So 1,500 for count 1, criminal trespass, and then 3,000 for count 2, simple battery.
All right, understood. Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Nicolas Sanchez. He is 29 years old and he was born and raised here in Georgia. He has his parents and siblings here in Georgia, and he has been working as a bar manager for the last 2 years in one place and total of 5 years of experience. He graduated from high school, and he says they do not live together. and they have no child together, there is no reason that we have no objection to stay away from that incident location, nor no further contact with Cecilia Wilkinson. My client does not wish to meet her or do anything with her, and we would like to request for a signature on bond. This is the first time that ever happened ever since 2011, which was totally different. It's non-violent offense. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Kim. At this time, the defendant will receive a $3,000 surety bond. It will be $1,000 for the criminal trespass and $2,000 for the simple battery. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that address on Roswell Road. He is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further?
Nothing further from the state judge.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Sanchez. What do we have next?
Position of add-on, position number 4, Price.
All right, good afternoon. Your case number is 22 CR 006978F, in which you're charged with battery with the offense date of October the 16th. Do you understand your rights today?
Ma'am.
I'm sorry, did you say yes?
I said yes, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Howard?
18 total. 2021 battery conviction. That was out of Marietta. 2020 obstruction conviction. 2020 another obstruction conviction. 2020 shoplifting conviction. 2019 stalking conviction. He was also arrested for a few counts of simple battery with that arrest. Got another shoplifting from 2019, trespass 2019. 2018 ag assault reduced to reckless conduct conviction. Probation from 2014, possession of a firearm by convicted felon or felony first offender. 2013 probation. 2013 battery, trespass, hindering person from making emergency call, battery DV. Those are all convictions. 2011 burglary conviction. Yeah, they CWAC that was declined to prosecute in 2012. That's all.
All right, thank you. And I'm sorry, the most recent was the 2020, correct?
2021.
2021. All right,
Correct.
Mr. Tole?
Yes, Judge. On October 16th of this year, officers responded to a dispute call at the incident location for a male assaulting staff members of the Atlanta mission. When officers arrived, they spoke with the victim, who stated that the defendant was being disorderly by shouting at other residents of the Atlanta mission. The victim stated when he approached the defendant to tell him to leave, the defendant swung on him and punched him in the face. Officers noticed bruising to his left cheek and swollen. His face was swollen as well. The state's bond recommendation is a $3,500 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Aaron Carmen, last name spelled C-A-R-M as in Mary, O-N. Completion of an anger awareness course. Stay away from the incident location, 165 Allen Jr. Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30313. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. And Judge, the state is concerned that this defendant does run the risk of reoffending, and he is a danger to the community. As you did hear from pretrial, he has 4 probation violations in his criminal history and several violent arrests and convictions.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Tole. I'm gonna sound for Mr. Carmen or for Aaron Carmen at this time. All right, hearing none, Ms. Kim, please proceed.
Yes, Mr. Price is 32 years old and he was born and raised here in Georgia. He does not have family members who can bail him out at this point, and he also does not have any employment. He completed up to 9th grade education in high school. And after that, indeed, he was at Atlanta Mission because of his residential challenge. And he wanted to get his life altogether better. However, this happened. We would like to request for signature on bond, and yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond because of previous histories, we would like to request for a maximum $1,000 good bond. Even that will be like no bond for him. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. At this time, defendant will receive a $2,000 surety bond. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the incident location, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything further?
Nothing further.
Hey, Judge.
All right, thank you. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position, I had position number 5, Roebuck.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Roebuck. Your case 22 CR 006976Y, in which you're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property with the offense date of October the 16th. Do you understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
20 total. Last arrest was 2020. Possession of a knife or a firearm by convicted felon or felony first offender. Possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. Sale of marijuana. 2 counts of theft by receiving. It appears to be open out of DeKalb County. 2014 misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Possession of a firearm by convicted felon or felony first offender. Got a DUI conviction. 2011. 2009 probation, simple battery, family violence, underlying charge. He pled no-low to that in 08. 07 simple battery, 05 simple battery.
All right, thank you.
He has a hold too, it says.
Oh, what is the hold? Are you able to see?
You know what, it might be this case. Is this damage to property?
Yes.
Yeah, it's this case. They got it wrong.
Okay, understood. Mrs. Tolle?
Yes, Judge. On July the 2nd of this year, the victim told the defendant to leave her residence. The defendant packed his belongings and left the residence. Shortly after, he returned and threw a rock through the front window, causing damage to the window. The state's bond recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, LaTanya Campbell, and that's spelled L-A-T as in Tom, O-N-Y-A. Stay away from the incident location, 4376 Cascade Road, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30331, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. And Judge, the defendant does have 20 cycles, and as you did hear his criminal history from pretrial, the state is concerned that he does run the risk of reoffending, and he is a danger to the community.
All right, thank you. I believe I saw Ms. Campbell earlier. Ms. Campbell, if you would like to make a statement, you're not required to do so. I will need you to turn on your camera, however, if you'd like to speak at this time. All right, Ms. Campbell, do you wish to make a statement?
Can I speak now?
I can do it after her.
You can turn your camera. If you want to speak, please turn on your camera. We have to be able to identify you. All right, and then unmute your screen.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, please. Yes, please raise your right hand.
Okay.
Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell the court at this time?
I would like to drop the charges against him. If there's anything I can do to drop the charges, because I don't want to see him in there.
All right, understood. Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Roebuck is 40 years old, Your Honor, and he has been here in Georgia all his life. He has 4 children, but they're kind of all grown up. And he has brother. He even has his grandbaby who's 3 years old. He's a father, and he indeed from 2021 he's been collecting SSI because of his disability. He uses a cane to walk around, and it's kind of hard for him to move around. And if you read we all read the affidavit for arrest. The warrant indicates that even the complaining witness, Ms. LaTanya Campbell, she did not see actually Mr. Roebuck threw the rock at all. And there was no witnesses, and there was no video footage of this incident. Actually, nothing was available. This is basically accused by speculation. And I really think he is not involved in this because he's physically not able to throw the rock with his disability, Your Honor. And we would like to request for signature on bond for this one, criminal trespass. Because I really think he's qualified for signature on bond. He's innocent for this one. Thank you.
And Judge, if I may add,
Very briefly, Mr. Tolley, go ahead.
yes, I'll keep it brief, but the victim herself, Ms. Campbell, is the one who called law enforcement herself on July the 2nd because she was afraid. And as a result, the state will push for the importance of the $3,000 surety bond.
All right, thank you. At this time, defendant will receive a $1,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim. In this case, stay away from the incident location on Cascade Road and have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition. Is there anything further? All right, hearing none. Best of luck to you, Mr. Roebuck. Who do we have next?
That's it, Your Honor.
Oh, we're complete.
Your Honor, is there an announcement for position 11?
And also, before we go to that, what about the positions 1 and 2? Position 1 bonded out. Position 2 on the add-on, more?
Yes, I do, Judge, I do have a quick announcement.
Yes.
Position 11 is a medical reset.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I have a client who waived appearance, so I was hoping we'd get to his case, Mr. De Jesus.
All right, we'll take that one as soon as, what about position 2 on the add-on?
she's in Union City, Judge.
Okay, is Union City on the screen? No,
The McCall.
okay. But otherwise, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We're completely.
No, Your Honor, I was wondering, my business is concluded. I was wondering if I could be excused.
All right. Are you not assigned to position 9 or the add-on, Ms. Backus?
I am completely done with my positions.
All right, you want to leave us? That is just fine, Ms. Backus. We'll remember that.
I do adore you all, but yes.
Take care.
Thank
Have a
you
good
so much.
afternoon.
See you all tomorrow.
All right, take care. Have a good afternoon. All right, position 9, Mr. De Jesus is waived appearance. Ms. McLeod, did you submit that paperwork to Ms.
I did,
Bridgewater
Your
from
Honor.
earlier? All right,
I
thank
haven't.
you. All right, wonderful. We'll go
And Your Honor,
forward with that.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
that's my case and the victim is on the call. So if we could explain to him what's going on with the waiver.
All right, we'll do one moment. Now it's I'm sorry. Position 1 on the add-on did bond out, correct? We all
No, yeah.
confirmed that. All right, so I
We
believe
did.
courtroom. I do believe so. I believe courtroom 2, once we have some information regarding Union City, can be excused. Position 11 is I know that is the medical reset case, but that's the case that's supposed to go to MH court. Does anyone have any information regarding that? Because I wanted to set a bond, even though that that case has been reset a few times. No one has any information. Ms. Falk isn't here.
Again, what is the
Position-
position again?
Position 11, Ms.
Position 11.
That is the one that was reset quite a few times. No one has information regarding that case. I don't want to keep resetting if we. Okay. Reset to tomorrow, I'm assuming, unless we get an announcement regarding the MH. All right, in the case of Mr. De Jesus, he is in medical, I believe, or Ms. McLeod, do you have information as to why he's waived his appearance without stating too much today?
Yeah, he's in medical, Your Honor.
All right, so he cannot appear, but we will hear his case without him being present today, just as if he was here. Mr. Howard, will you please proceed?
35 total. Last arrest was in September for DUI. That's open. 22 CR 006 136Y. On probation, Superior Court for ag stalking. 22 SC 181489. Let's see. He has some simple battery charges that was dismissed from 2019 out of Gwinnett. He has a 2018 stalking conviction out of Hall County. 2018 probation, 2018 harassment phone calls conviction, 2017 simple battery DV criminal trespass conviction. He got 26 cycles out of California. He has a burglary from 2013 conviction, 2012 probation, ag assault with deadly weapon conviction from 2012 out of Anaheim.
That's good. Thank you, Mr. Howard. I'm sure Ms. Sauer will fill us in on the rest. Ms. Sauer, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to 1204 Grovehurst Drive in Alpharetta. Regarding this incident, the victim in this case, his name is Premchand, and that's spelled Premchand, last name Panigrahi. He informed officers that he was over the defendant's home at the request of the defendant's girlfriend to assist her with the home. When the defendant came inside the residence, he punched the victim multiple times in the face, and the victim did sustain bruising to his eye and lacerations on his face. Your Honor, we've heard from pretrial regarding this defendant's violent history. I would also like to add a 2021 act stalking in which the defendant used his first offender. So due to this violent, him being a violent offender, he does present a risk of reoffending, and also noted by pretrial the multi-state offenses. The state's recommendation is a $4,000 surety bond with conditions of no contact with the victim, a one-day anger awareness course, stay away. I'm sorry, we will withdraw the stay away as it is his residence, but no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, nothing further.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry, Miss Sauer, will you please give me the victim's last name again?
Yes, it's Panigrahi.
Pangrahi, is that, sir, if you're present on this Zoom conference and wish to be heard, this is your opportunity to speak. Would you like to make a statement at this time?
Hi.
Before you speak, do you wish to make a statement? Okay. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell me at this time?
Okay, so I was over to my friend's house to help with her. Like, she just recently, a couple of days back, she moved to her new apartment. So I was there to help her put all the furnitures together and then unbox the stuff. And his ex, like, from nowhere, like, he came into the house and then he started like punching me on my face. You can see the bruises on like below my eye and then all over here. But yeah, I leave that up to the court, like whatever bond like court decides is right for him. But I would like request and no violent contact with me.
Okay, so you'd like to have contact with the defendant?
No.
All right, understood.
Yeah.
Thanh you. I appreciate you being here.
Violent.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
And my friend, like who I was, his wife, whom I was help, she's here with me and she wants to speak something. Is she allowed to talk?
No, only you as the victim, sir. So please tell me what you'd like me to know.
So sorry, say that Your Honor.
I'm only going to hear from you at this time. Have you told me everything you'd like me to know?
Okay, yeah. So Mr. Antonio doesn't live with his wife. Okay, they don't live together. They are not together. I think they are in a process of divorce. Okay, I mean, he had no reason to like came out that way with like on me, hitting on me. So I didn't do anything wrong. And yeah,
right.
can we do something for her safety also? Like, I mean, he can stay away from the residence, that she also can feel safe.
Your Honor, my client tells me that that is no longer his residence, so we do not have a problem with a stay away order from that location.
All right.
It is not his residence.
All right. Thank you, sir, for making that statement. I appreciate that. Oh, Miss Moore is gonna be reset. Is she in medical or there's no way we could bring, did anyone speak to Miss Moore? So we could
No,
waive
Your
her
Honor, she was
appearance?
my client and I haven't had a chance to speak with her.
She'll be a medical reset till tomorrow. She was at Union City.
Oh, all right. Well, courtroom 2 is complete. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Y'all be safe.
All right, Ms. McLeod, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 32 years old. He has significant challenges with housing. He tells me he's currently living in his car. He's going through a divorce. He is diagnosed with several severe mental health issues, Your Honor, and tells me he has been off his medication, that he needs his medication. He was unable to appear because of he doesn't have his medication and he's essentially non-functional when he doesn't have his medication. He doesn't even remember what happened with Mr. Paningrahi. You know, he doesn't deny that it happened. He just doesn't have any memory of it, Your Honor. He needs help, not only with housing, but with his medication and other things. Because as I said before, he doesn't even remember it happening.
All right, thank you. At this time, the defendant will receive a $3,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from the incident location. He is to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition. Is there anything further from either party?
Your Honor, I was wondering if there's some way that there can be an order that he gets his medication while he's incarcerated.
We would have to do, I could attempt, I'm not sure that falls within my purview, but we can order that while incarcerated. He must comply with any required treatment. That's about the best I can do at this point, I believe.
For medication, the attorney will have to file something, so
Right,
that the
that's what I was
judge can
thinking.
sign for it.
All right, Ms. McLeod, if you want to present an order for my signature, we could do that. But other than that, there's not much else I could do. I appreciate that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, does that conclude the entire calendar?
Judge, what about the add-on for position 2?
They're going to be reset to tomorrow's what the jail just said was the medical reset. All right, Ms. Bridgewater, will you review the calendar for me?
Yes. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be November the 1st. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 2, reset further notice with a $4,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a $4,000 total good bond. Position 4, SAP calendar with a $2,500 good bond. Position 5, reset further notice with a $2,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 6 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 7, reset further notice with the $4,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 8, SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. Position 9, reset to the SAP calendar with a $3,500 good bond. Position 10 is going to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 11 is being medically reset till tomorrow. Position 12 is being reset to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 13, SAP calendar with a $5,000 total good bond. Position 14, SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 15 is reset further notice with a $1,500 SOB through the jail. Position 16 going to the SAP calendar with a $2,500 good bond. Position 17 reset further notice with a $1,500 SOB through the jail. Position 18 reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 19 SAP calendar with a $5,000 good bond. The add-on calendar position number 1 is being reset further notice as they were released. Position 2 is medically reset till tomorrow. Position 3 reset further notice with a $3,500 SOB through pretrial. Position 4 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 5 going to the SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. And position 6 also going to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 total good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
Don't forget Oakley was per judge.
Per judge, absolutely.
Is number 19 pretrial or straight?
Let me get to it and I'll tell you.
It should be
Position 19 is, I have position 19 as a good bond.
I got pretrial. Really?
I have
Wait,
pretrial too. It's pretrial.
I honestly don't remember.
Wait a minute, let me look at my paperwork. If you all are saying
It should be
pretrial, that it
5,000.
is.
It should be $5,000 pretrial, 1 day.
Yeah, it's $5,000 pretrial bond.
5,000. Okay, pretrial, got it. Thank you, guys.
All right, hearing no further comments, changes, corrections, or questions, will be in recess until tomorrow.
Will we see you
Thanks.
tomorrow?
You will not see me tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye-bye.
Oh,
You
and
too,
by the
Judge.
way, Judge,
Yes.
sorry, is that her name? That she
Miss-
just got off the screen. Welcome back.
Thank you.